There's a woman she is from England, not happy with American Airlines. Her name is Sophie Draper, and back in December, just a few months back, she and her boyfriend had booked flights from London to New York, economy class. Now, Sophie says she has a severe nut allergy and mentioned that at the gate during check-in, but things did not go her way. Now, according to Sophie, she was told by the head of the cabin crew that they were, quote, contractually obligated to serve hot mixed nuts in first class and business class.
You're damn right. I want hot mixed nuts in my first class seat.
All right.
Okay, so they're contractually obligated. Now, this is a surprise to me. I thought they got rid of all nuts on all planes, you know?
Occasionally you will see them.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen
all right.
them, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they're not gone.
No,
they're not gone.
I don't ever understand the rules on this because I started getting, 25 years ago, pretzels instead of peanuts.
Yeah.
You know? And you hear, because of allergies.
It's an option.
But it's not. But that's what they gave us. They used to give us peanuts all the time, and then I don't fly much. Then they switched to pretzels. So it's like, why are they still on some flights? Weird.
I don't know. Sophie claimed that her allergy is so severe that even all the way back there in the cheap seats, that she could be affected dangerously by the nut dust, whatever it is, in the air because the plane air is recirculated. Their response, according to Sophie, was, "Well, look, your boyfriend's with you. He can jab you with your EpiPen, can't he?"
They told her tough tit.
Essentially, yes. And then she broke down in tears, yada, yada, yada. She and her boyfriend were removed from the flight.
Oh.
That is shocking to me.
She claims she filed a complaint immediately with American Airlines, heard nothing in return. Now, since she has shared her story with the HuffPost UK, American Airlines has apologized, with an S, and said they've reached out to Sophie. They want to hear more about her experience. Since then, we do know Sophie and her boyfriend were offered a refund for their bag fees. Other than that, in the words of our friend Weather Dave, we wait.
And do you think it's possible for nut dust from the business class and first class, which is way up front of the plane, could make its way through those curtains and all the way back to where she's sitting in coach and really affect her? She has that sensitive an allergy.
Not in the free air, but maybe in the recycled air of the plane.
I would have.
Or a flight attendant moving through and fro,
maybe
from the front to back.
Right now, being a flight attendant, I think with everything going on, is tough. You got people still fighting on the planes, mass, everything. I think she tells you this, you shrug it off because you think she's being over the top. I would.
Your customer, the flyer?
Yeah, I would immediately.
But I'm surprised they're putting nuts in the plane, period.
But if I can't control that if I'm the flight attendant, what's here?
But do you say, okay, this woman's got a serious allergy. She's already said we've got to get these nuts off this plane.
No, I'd say...
Is this the Sam Jackson movie?
Nuts off the plane.
That's it.
Yeah. Do you think somebody said, get the nuts off the plane, and they took the two people
Okay,
up there?
get off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am really, really surprised that
I don't think they say no to it because I think it's Big Peanut. I think they want to be on those planes.
Oh, do you?
In the pockets of
I
Big
think
Peanut?
Big Nut wants to be on there.
I think you're probably right.
I think planners, whoever makes them, Fishers. I don't know who the nut companies
There's a
are.
man with a monocle up there in the cockpit.
He's flying the joint.
Mr. Peanut with his walking stick.
But also, I've got...
my product.
The nut stick.
but also,
You got a contract.
Yeah.
I got 180 other people to worry about.
But they don't all have to have nuts. I just feel like with so many nut allergies, I've come over to the side of the people with the nut allergies.
Sissy.
Right. I mean, honestly,
I have.
when you first hear about it, if you're as old as we are, you think that can't be real.
Of course. But then
But you do know, and
yeah.
you meet people who have kids who have it, that kind of thing.
You hear people who accidentally get a peanut in their mouth, or some peanut butter, they don't know it's there, and they go into anaphylactic shock, and they sometimes die.
Yeah,
and I bet she's not. I think she's telling the truth that somehow nut dust can get back there on her, and she's in huge trouble.
What are you supposed to do for her then? I know you want to drag peanuts and nuts off the flight.
That's the only thing you can do.
That's the only thing you can do, but other than make her wear a protective shell.
What do other people do? She's not the only
ironically.
person.
Like dry roasted?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Or like
don't
a
know.
Spanish peanut skin?
Raw.
I just think you've got to. If I owned an airline now, I'd say we're not doing any peanuts. We're staying out
Well,
of this.
what if I will go, excuse me, I'm gluten-free. I can't have pretzels.
Well, that's
Yeah, but you have to ingest
If I get your
that.
gluten, I
ingest
die.
that. Let me ask you this: what if I stop off at Hudson News
Yeah.
and pick up some peanut M&Ms?
Yeah.
I'm a customer.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
You
Yeah,
know,
you could have that.
I
yeah.
wonder, and if I sit, behind her
She wouldn't even know.
back in steerage, she wouldn't know that I have them,
you're
but
right.
she might smell the peanuts
Or one
in the
seat
air.
back.
You're right. I don't know what you do. It must be a terrible way to live if you were really that allergic. If she's telling the
absolutely.
truth, it would be
Agree.
almost impossible because anybody could eat something peanut butter sandwich right next to her. You know.
People with nut allergies fly every day, don't they? We don't hear about this all the time.
I'm assuming they're in the air.
The only reason I think that Big Nut has a contract with these airlines is because they are still there, and pretzels are so much cheaper.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, peanuts are expensive. Why, if you're an airline, why would you want to keep paying for peanuts unless you've got a contract that says, and Planners is like, look, you're carrying our nuts.
and it goes to we used to.
Both of these nuts.
It was always
These nuts.
you knew you're getting a bag of peanuts on the plane.
Yeah.
You know that was just how it was. Then it changed. But look, the first time I was handed
And a whole
pretzels-
can of soda.
Thank
Whole
you.
can. And those cookies.
Yes.
The Biscoffs.
Biscoffs.
The first time I was handed pretzels instead of peanuts, I showed my ass. I said, "This isn't happening here."
What is this, Aeroflot?
What is this?
The Russian Airlines.
Yeah.
Awful, David? But I've come around.
Air China.
David, you're talking about nut allergies. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm an airline pilot, and the nut allergy has a kind of a twofold thing. It's kind of crazy. These airplanes some of them are 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
There's no telling how many pounds of nut dust are on each airplane. The airplanes are filthy, and there's just pounds of these particulates everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can tell an allergy person and a kind of a nut kind of crazy person. An allergy person will really clean the area very well
Mm-hmm.
and make sure none of that comes in contact with their body or person.
Yes.
Some of these people that want to board the plane early, things like that, they will just come in and sit down on an airplane, and those people aren't really that allergic to peanut dust or peanut particles.
They're claiming it to
Like
get
in
on
first
early.
class.
Yes.
They're claiming it to try to get perks.
What would you have done in this case where the woman says, "Look, I cannot be on a plane with nuts," and American Airlines says, "Well, we're serving them in first class."
Contractually obligated.
Yeah. What would you have done in that situation?
Well, let's face it, and this might be a little crude from an airline perspective, some people just need to rent their own planes.
Right. If you okay,
No, I'm with them.
there it is. I mean, you can't.
If you're in first class from London to New York, that's a high bill.
It is.
But if you're that delicate where you can't be around it that much, it would be
It
impossible.
alters your life.
Thank you. That's very informative, David. Thank you very much. Really appreciate the phone call. Mitchell, you're talking
Happy
about...
landings. That's what we
Clearly.
pilot.
I want him flying my plane.
Mitchell, you're talking nut allergies. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I got a handle on why this is such a severe thing. If you think about it, when you get bit by a brown recluse spider,
Mm-hmm.
your liver cannot conjugate that into an inactive metabolite. So it just keeps cycling through your system, damaging tissue all the time. It's the same thing, I think, with a peanut allergy. Some of these folks cannot metabolize the protein that's in that peanut allergy, and so it just keeps going through their body over and over and over again, and it causes hives, and it causes their lungs to have problems. And so it's the same kind of thing, is that their body cannot convert it to inactive metabolites, I think.
Wow. You know a lot more about it than we do now. That's something.
How sensitive do you have to be that you can't even? Could you even walk through a grocery store down the peanut aisle?
Well,
where
they're
the-
all sealed there, of course.
Yeah, but I mean,
Well,
there's
some
nut.
of-
There's nut dust.
And some
you
of them
heard
have-
the pilot.
Some places have those buckets of nuts.
Yeah, like the bulk items.
Yeah.
That's right. I don't know. It's a tough one.
You and your nut dust.
Marnie has a nut allergy. She can speak to this.
All right.
Marnie, go ahead.
Yeah, I always pre-check when I am going on a flight. You could actually speak to someone weeks before you even get on. They tell you what's being served. Different airlines have different policies. I would never, ever get on a flight where they were serving any kind of peanuts. Last time I flew, they made an announcement, made sure that no one opened anything that they had bought, peanut M&Ms.
Really?
Oh.
And you can't expect 100%
Yeah.
of people to apply, do that, but you hope.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're that sensitive to it. You would have said the same thing.
I actually,
Yeah.
went to a meeting and someone had eaten peanuts and sat next to me, and I went into anaphylaxis.
Oh, my word.
Holy.
Scary.
That's unbelievable.
Do you have your pen with you?
Yes.
We've heard stories of women making out with their boyfriend who had peanut butter sandwich
with his other girlfriend.
For lunch, a peanut butter sandwich, then you start kissing your girlfriend, and they go into shock.
Yeah, just from his mouth.
That's weirdest penthouse letter ever.
True. I flew. They made the announcement and everything, and I was sitting next to this lovely old woman, and she's like, "Well, I'm so glad they made that announcement because I have 5 pounds of peanuts under the seat."
Oh my word!
I looked at her and I was like, "Oh, okay, I need to move."
Oh my goodness!
Throw them out at ball games? Where's she going?
Lord.
Going to the ballpark?
She went to the Jimmy Carter Museum.
Jesus.
I always thought I could spit the shells on the floor here.
I know. It's a Texas airline. Isn't this Braniff? They can throw them on the ground.
Marnie, thank you.
Oh, good luck to you.
That must be so difficult to.
At this time, I'd like to fasten your seat belts and no peanut packages because of the woman in 21C.
I've got 5 pounds of peanuts under the seat.
What am I supposed to do with all these peanuts?